People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have.
The question isn't can you handle the situation. The question is can you handle your mind.
What changed? I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work.
A lot of the hardest problems are so easy to solve. We just have to take those steps, which are hard.
I can do anything. I can do it.
Welcome to On the Rise. I talk about personal development, small business, and I interview entrepreneurs on the rise. They call me Level Up Nelson, and I am your host. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Level Up Nelson. The phone lines are open at 800-419-5975. That's 800-419-5975. This podcast is brought to you by DatChat, the future of email and messaging. DatChat puts you in control of your text messages and allows you to pull back any message you've sent using secure blockchain technology. DatChat IPOs early in 2020 to the NASDAQ. Visit datchat.com/levelups and get a once-in-a-lifetime exclusive pass to purchase shares now. Again, that's datchat.com/levelups. And to my rising tide, welcome back to the show. And as always, I have some special guests in the building tonight, this evening. One of them goes by the name of Nickey Stringz. He's an entrepreneur. He's a CEO. He's the co-founder at Bars and Burgers, an event planning company. Okay. And his partner, Terrell Smiley, is also here tonight. He's an entrepreneur, a CEO as well of CBD Heaven, and his music company, L Bezzle Music. Fellas, welcome to the show.
What's good? What's up, man?
Yes, all right. That probably was the record intro.
That was good.
in my two seasons, right? You know.
I had to take a breath on that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you for having us, man.
All right. Yeah, no doubt. So I like to start every show with a quote of the day. So I just give my 2 cents, you guys give yours, and then for the Facebook Live people out there, they could chime in as well. All right. So tonight's quote is, "Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do." Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. And that is from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, German fellow. Shout out to Germany.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Oh man, I preach that all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy because there's so much knowledge out there. You can read as many books as you want to. You will not get anywhere until you apply that knowledge that you actually read, apply the knowledge that you actually studied. We all got to get up. We all got to get up and go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just knowing knowledge and sitting in a room not doing anything. They can't coincide with one another. It has to be a action to our thoughts. That's how we manifest.
Right.
So unless you want to manifest something, you gotta
Put in some
apply
work.
it.
Yeah.
Gotta apply it all the time.
What do you think?
Yeah, I just find it so funny. It's man. First and foremost, thanks for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, no doubt,
Appreciate
man.
that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, it's like, I don't believe in coincidences. I'm gonna throw that out here. Everything happens for a reason, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just having a conversation with my brother about that, who's also an entrepreneur. Shout out Chinese Lee Photography. He's doing big things.
Mm-hmm.
And we were speaking on. We were having a dialogue rather about what it means to be chosen to do something or choosing to do something. And one of the things I was saying is just like, it's one thing to know that that's your path, but if you're not doing anything to move towards that, it's like that saying that Bruce Lee had famously. He said, "Never fear the man that could kick 100 times in one day. Fear the man who can kick one time for 100 days, because that shows consistency."
Right.
work beats talent when talent doesn't work. So it's not about what you know really or how much you know. It's about how hard you're willing to apply those lessons that you have. So big thing. That's a number one model that me and L both run on.
Nice.
Straight up in every way.
That's beautiful.
Don't know.
So this quote hit home a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, big time. You picked the right one.
Yeah.
I remember when I wasn't doing anything to level me up.
Right.
I lacked direction, years ago. We're trying to find yourself and everything like that. And it's just like once you get that direction and once you start to see it, you start to, quotes like that make way more sense.
Right.
So, it's definitely.
And it's tough too. I mean, because think about, our folks that attend church every Sunday, and are avid churchgoers, right? And they read the Bible, but they might be living in poverty and they're struggling, right? And so what's missing, right? What do you say, right? It's applying what the Bible says and what the Bible teaches is what separates a lot of folks who do go to church and apply, and the folks that do go to church and don't apply.
Yeah. The ones that go to church and don't apply are the judgmental ones, and they'll sit here and talk about every bad thing that you do, and it's just like, what about the good I've done?
Right.
Like that, yes. And then, but the ones who do go to church and do apply, they understand that life is duality. They understand that we did come from the darkness. You do understand that we have to sin, we have to go through some stuff in order to be able to live accordingly. Like this isn't life just doesn't end here. You feel me?
There's a lot more going on.
I tell everybody, I'm like, you gotta understand, in order to excel, in order to ascend, pressure makes diamonds. Right. In order to become a diamond, God's gonna apply that pressure on you, and we're gonna find out who actually perseveres and who doesn't. Exactly. And it's very easy to see in this world. So it's very easy to see.
Definitely.
All right, folks. On the rise, Nelson Stryker. I got some very special guests in the building tonight. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Brian, we see you. B-Dog, Jubilee Westhead, we see you. Mr. Magdre Paul out of New York, we see you. Tony Testa, Roman, we see you out there. Harrison, Archie, we see you. What's going on? Thank you so much. All right, so look, fellas, let's get right into it, man. Some background, man, kind of give, I guess, Terrell, you can go first. L, you could go first. Let the people know, what you got going on, how you got involved in music, and, I guess maybe your main hustle.
All right, man. So, everybody, my name's Terrell. Everybody knows me as L Bezzle out here, or you just call me LB.
LB.
My name has so many different. My name is very interchangeable, especially since it's just two letters and it can be whatever. Yeah. A little background about me. I'm 31 years old. I got 4 brothers, and I was blessed enough to have parents that really loved me and cared me and put me in a good academic position to actually excel and be successful. So my life kind of started when I was 27. I had a massive spiritual awakening when I was 27 that pretty much blew the door open to everything that I'm doing right now. Just a little bit. So January 7th, 2016 was the day I lost my job, and that was the day that pretty much I lost my car, my house, and everything that I had worked up to do. But this is the thing, I was working myself to the bone to keep these things, and it was either I leave and become what I'm supposed to become in life, or I stay with 2 full-time jobs and a side hustle and, pay for a place that I never was at and pay for a car that I never was in. So, I chose the better choice, which was to leave. I had it was crazy. I had no choice, but also it was also a choice too, because I could have leveraged some other things and, did some other things, but I was like, no, I have to leave. I felt God was calling me to do something spectacular. So I noticed that from that day, I released all my anger. I released, I released the reins on my life. I was done. it doesn't matter what job I was at or what I did, there was always somebody out for me, always somebody trying to get me out. And I was like, I'm done. I'm going to create what I want to do, because that's what we all need to be doing in life, is creating.
Yeah.
And I noticed that I was getting breadcrumbs. I was, the 7th day of every month, I was gaining a message. And God made me aware of these messages, and they all were little breadcrumbs toward me using my voice, me using my creativity. My grandmother was a painter, and my grandfather was an entrepreneur, so it kind of like, trickled down into me, because not only do I do rap and music, I draw too.
You're an artist as well.
I'm an artist. I'm an artist in every sense of the word. So I started to notice that I was getting messages the 7th day of every month, and not only that, but my spiritual gifts were growing exponentially. I was born a prophet. I used to just know things. I used to warn people of things and let people know certain things, and that actually grew to mediumship. And not only that, but my art took off after
Just
that.
went to a whole nother level.
Yeah, and my voice, ever since the day I lost everything, my voice gained a power. When you call out to God, He instills you with the power to do what it is that you're supposed to do in this life.
Right.
And I felt the euphoria like I've never felt before ever in my life. And ever since that day, I've been hustling and doing what I love and getting paid to do what I love.
Wow.
And when I tell you, I can cry right now about how amazing. And not only will this happen to me, it can and will happen to you. You just gotta literally let Jesus take the wheel.
Amen.
Let the universe take over, and you're gonna be surprised. It's not what we want to do; it's what the universe wants us to do. So that was one major thing that I took away from that, and out of all that, music, art, and my CBD business, and my partnership with my brother right here, Nickey Stringz, took off. And bro, it's a blessing, and I'm a walking testament to what can happen to you if you simply let God in.
Right.
So,
Amen, man.
Thank you.
Hey. All right. Mr. Nickey Stringz, man.
Yeah.
What's good?
I mean, just to add on to that.
Yeah.
And even also going back to the quote earlier, right now we're noticing an awakening in our society.
Yeah.
Where people are noticing there's a big paradigm shift happening, where people are noticing, like, hey, if I think on something and I positively, put energy towards that, it starts to happen.
To manifest,
It starts to manifest. That's the key word. And we're noticing that right now it's not just at that point. It's just moving, actually taking actions and moving in. To add to that a little bit about me, I was born in Brooklyn. My name is Nickey Stringz. I'm also 31. And I feel like I've learned that the second birth happens when you hit 30, because it's like, you feel me? You go through your 20s and you're trying to discover, you're trying things out. You're feeling which one fits most and resonates most with you, and you go through that, and then it really happens. You really start to have that midpoint where you're looking back and then looking forward, and it's just a beautiful. So all my brothers and sisters out there that's having anxiety about the big 3-0, trust me. It's so much brighter on the other side. So I'm gonna say that. So a little bit about me. I'm the first of my siblings to be born in America. My parents are immigrants from Jamaica, and they instilled in us such a forward-thinking, ambitious, entrepreneurial mindset to just know that, look, you shouldn't even just be getting one income. One income is not enough. You need to be doing multiple things to make sure that. There's a stereotype about Jamaicans, they got 3 and 4 jobs out. So it holds true, because it's knowing that having multiple streams, and that's just kind of what we were raised upon, and that sort of thing. Music is something that, without sounding cliche, found me. Honestly, it's one of those things where, back growing up in middle school, high school, I was a bit of a social outcast, and music was the one place where I found acceptance. And I noticed that by me doing my music, the people that felt that way as well. And it's more people feel that way than not. Trust me, all my misfits out there, all my weird kids out there.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It's Christmas time too.
Yeah.
Those misfits, you heard?
Yeah,
Shout out to the misfit
Island of
toys, you
Misfit
heard?
Toys. Yeah, see, that's a throwback right there. See, you might have been.
I had to throw it back.
In your day
I
too,
was. Amen.
That's what I'm
man.
saying. So it's like, so I noticed that my music was a way for those people to come in, and going forward, the main message behind what it is that I do is that you have a purpose. We all have a purpose, and more importantly, we all have a passion for something.
Yeah.
And there's this fear that by following your passion, you're not going to get paid or compensated or that sort of thing. I trust and believe. I never imagined in a million years I'd be able to get paid to do. We just got off of a cross-country music tour. I never thought in a million years we would be able to do that. But once we started putting our passion, putting action behind our passion and letting that happen, the universe will,
putting those vibes out.
divine source will make opportunities for you to just come. What is luck but opportunity meeting preparation? So that's the main thing that we did. And I get passionate, the accent come out, but you know what I mean. So,
let it go, bro.
real true thing. So you know what I mean. So that's where I'm coming from with that.
Yeah, man. Amen to that,
Amen.
man. Amen to all that, man. On the rise, Nelson Stryker. Folks, we are going in tonight. This is definitely an episode you definitely want to play more than one time, because my guys are dropping some bombs right now. I should really be letting off some rockets because this is crazy, man. Do my rockets real quick.
Send them off.
Send them all off. You know what I'm saying? But look, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back for the folks on live. We'll be right back. All right, folks, on the rise, Nelson Stryker. We are back. I'm here with Nickey Stringz and Terrell Smiley, aka L Bezzle, and we're talking about a lot of different things. They're representing Bars and Burgers, an event planning company that actually is partnered with Sea Burger. You guys saw Mr. Dan Zeno here a couple of weeks back. Super nice guy, great business model, plant-based burgers, folks. If you haven't had one, you got to go down to Sea Burger in New Brunswick.
We're going there after this.
Y'all going after it?
Incredible.
Shout out.
Amazing food.
The best.
Shout out to Sea Burger, man. But listen, let's jump into the music business because, unfortunately for those of you out there, y'all didn't get a chance to see the freestyles from earlier, but my guys were going in. So let's talk about the music business. I mean, I guess, LB, if you want to go first, I guess just talk about how you stumbled into it. I know, you had like a breakthrough.
Yeah.
When it came to music. So I guess talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Damn, where do I start? All right, so I wasn't always rapping. I actually started off music managing. So I had some artists that I was managing a little bit. And then when that all kind of ended and everybody kind of parted ways, I started to notice that I had a voice. I started to I was freestyling a lot growing up and just trying to sharpen my craft. And the crazy thing is when I was younger, I never really wanted, I never knew I would be able to pursue music the way I do now. It was just for fun, something to do with my brothers a little bit and to kind of get out. And then I was originally in the beginning, after I found out that I had a voice, I was like, man, I gotta get a couple of tracks. So I linked up, shout out to Mike Streets. I linked up with him, Incredible Soul, to do a couple of tracks. We're actually working on an album right now.
Okay.
So it's been in the works for a very long time, which is great. And so after, I kind of linked up with him, I started to kind of go off into I was like, let me see what type of beats I like. Let me see what type of
like
style.
Your style, yeah.
Exactly. I was still trying to find myself, and I noticed that I had like this intensity to me, and people liked it. So I was like, oh, okay, people like that. So that's what I'm gonna run with, and thus Apocalypto came, which was my first single that was on all streaming platforms. And the great thing about that, it got almost 11,000 views and still rising, which is a blessing to me. I never got that many views before ever on anything.
Nice.
And that was the marker basically, which started everything. And so after Apocalypto came out, which was like a kind of like an introduction to myself, Payroll came out next, which was about owning yourself and starting something to leave an imprint on this earth. Then after that, God Given came out, which was actually the track that dropped last month, which I toured around with my brother Stringz. We were on a cross-country tour. I toured that song the most out of everything. And I got a new song coming out soon, so y'all stay tuned. I usually drop a song the 7th of every month. I'm doing something different this month. So on the 21st, come check me out. I'm going to have a little video dropping soon. But as I started dropping these songs and dropping these singles, I was finding myself even further. A lot of my songs are now on all the streaming platforms. They're gaining recognition, and I try to talk about mind, body, and spirit. That's basically what all my songs are about. If we don't tend to mind, body, and spirit, it's like we're gonna be thrown out of whack. We're
like building a house on sand.
Exactly. Foundations are gonna be cracked. And I'm glad to say that the foundation in which my music built off, like just off my singles and just off the people I met in general, was enough to like kind of like lift me off to doing more tracks. Now 2020 is the year of the feature, what I keep saying, because I'm hopping on everybody's song, everybody's hopping on my songs 2020, and it's just a blessing to be able to speak my message and to have people resonate with it so much, and to like I
show that love.
Yeah, man. Like even off of God Given, when I dropped that, some people gave their life to Christ when I played that song and when I just talked about the origins of it. So not only is the message coming out, but people are changing their lives off of the message. And that's one of the reasons why I linked up with Stringz, because Stringz, I'll never forget when I met him. I went to my boy's house, and my brother SB came up, and he followed, and Nickey Stringz followed right after, and we all linked up. We were in there freestyling, and Stringz was really in line with the mission. He was really in line with the message, and that was probably like the background to why we do a lot of things together. We went on tour together and all that. And
you're doing everything yourself right now, or you got like you're starting to build like a little team?
Yeah. So we got a little team going. Before, it wasn't, I couldn't say that, but now, it's great. I got my brother Stringz here. We're business partners. I partnered up with Dan from Seed Burger, the owner of Seed Burger, to bring you guys bars and burgers so that we can actually put people on from the city and the surrounding cities as well. Even if you're not even from the state, come out.
Come through,
yeah, definitely, man. Like,
shout out to Rabbit Hole Studios.
Yeah, shout out to Rabbit Hole as well.
Big
really,
participation.
yes, really big creative house out there that we linked up with. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Ian, SB. Shout out to Weesingson, and all of you guys, man. Like, just the coming together and the meeting of minds is incredible. Also, shout out to Pleiades and all that, man. It's because of all these people coming together. Even you, Nelson. It's because of all y'all coming together, and we're actually manifesting what we've been trying to manifest for a long time.
There we go.
It's a blessing, man. Yo, get with a team and go. I'm telling you, man, once you get out there, once the universe knows that you're trying to do something, the universe has no choice but to back you and but to help you. You're going to get people thrown in your way. You're going to get places thrown in your way, things thrown in your way. And you have to be aware of when God is speaking to you through these things, because that's where how you're going to know where you're going to go. So you already know, man.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Nickey Stringz.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, just to add on to what my brother L Bezzle was saying, man, it's like, you need to be in alignment with yourself. That's the only way that everything's gonna start working for you. And it absolutely takes a village. The narrative of being the lone wolf that does it and makes it, that could only go so far. I read a quote the other day. It said, "If you want to travel faster, go alone. But if you want to travel further, go with a team." That's the only way you can make it to the mountains. You made some quick, headway, but like you're not gonna reach that mountaintop by yourself. Right. You need that team, and you want to elevate each other and build, and that's what the whole purpose of Bars and Burgers is. With the event, we just had our first event. It's unheard of to have a first event pack out the way that it did. That's absolutely a blessing. It's like building up from the good credit from everyone that we've interacted with and everyone that feels our vibe and just sees where we're coming from, how how our message, what our purpose, how we are aligned with our person. Like going on tour, that in and of itself, you need to have a vision and you need to have a purpose getting you going. And we were 100% in alignment with that. Everything we don't do anything unless it's feeding and serving that purpose. And that purpose is to bring people to that clarity, to that understanding, to that awakening that you can be whoever you want to be. That's one of my songs. You are.
Oh, okay.
You see the plug there. Like, but that's
incredible song. Man.
Thank you. It's available on all streaming sites as well. And to speak on how I got my start, I started playing. I played trumpet actually back in middle school, and I had a love for music. And it wasn't until I started playing the keys and really, teaching myself how to do that, because at the time, we didn't have the funds for it. It's not some elitist thing. We just didn't have the funds for it. I very well would have. We probably would have cut the time in half to get good. But I had to teach myself, and through that, I gained this relationship with music as this one act that I can do that never felt like I was losing from it. I can feed and put into that, keep dropping in and investing in. I mean, there's people that I've invested in that aren't with me these days, and for whatever reason, and that's okay, And there's relationships that I've had. I mean, we all have exes, right?
Yeah.
That we put all that time and energy into, but it's no longer a thing. It's you know what I mean? Jobs that we put that energy in that we have left. But music was that one thing that I noticed through life that it just only gave me more. Every time I put into it, it just grew. You know what I mean? So, like, having the opportunity to do that and show people that you can do that with whatever it is, whether it's dancing, whether it's poetry, whether it's running a dope podcast, whether it's just reaching the masses, teaching the masses, you can do it.
Yes,
you can always do it, man. The power is in you, so go out there and do it.
Just go, man. Just go. All right, folks. On the rise, Nelson Stryker. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Elise Rosada, we see you. Miss Hendricks, we see you. Thank you so much. Zamira Belford, thanks for tuning in. Miss Hendricks says, so you guys have a team. Very nice. Best of luck and much blessings to you guys.
Appreciate that.
All right. Dennis Carroll. Dennis Carroll says, what up? Anthony Joseph, what's going on?
What's up?
Rob, we see you. Daryl Bird, shout out. Jillian Espino, we see you. Harrison Archie is checking us out tonight. Thank you so much to y'all. All right, folks, we're going to take a little break and pay the bills. We will be right back. All right, folks, on the rise, Nelson Stryker. We are back. I'm here with Nickey Stringz and L Bezzle, a.k.a. Terrell Smiley.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Got to give it all. We're talking about a lot. I mean, we just talked about the music business. Both my guys are streaming on all streaming services, which, we're going to go into the plugs in a little bit. But we're going to jump into some current events right now. So to those of you tuning in right now, this will be your opportunity to throw some questions our way, because some of the things that are going on right now, I mean, it's sad. One of the things that we're going to talk about is definitely sad. And you guys know I talk a lot about personal development. I talk a lot about, the youth in our country today because of what they're going through and how hard it is for them. And I don't think we all realize how much harder they have it than we had it, right? We didn't have it as hard as them because we didn't have as many temptations, and the ease of temptation wasn't as simple for us as it is for them.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that yet, because sometimes they'll think it's easier because technology is amazing, right?
Right.
But they're not really thinking of like the temptation part.
Yes.
How easy it is for them to mess up. I mean, we could have messed up. I mean, we were out, we were playing. Yeah, we could have messed up, whatever.
Right.
But now, these kids can be talking to predators and don't even know it. right? They could be, texting each other where, we all have that. You know what I mean? Where if we were gonna go somewhere, we had the house phones. You know what I'm saying? Like, or we had to send notes. You know what I'm saying? but now,
carrier pigeon.
yeah,
Smoke
like,
signal.
but they could send that text message real quick and it's over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They're
Right.
going to the spot. They're doing whatever they're doing, whether it's drugs, the vaping that's also killing kids today. It's just out of control. What's going on? But to start this current events, I definitely want to talk about Kanye West today.
Okay.
Because you guys are in the music business. I'm sure you guys are seeing, and you talked about, religious stuff, spiritual. Would you say Christian rap, kind of falling into that area a little bit, right? Because you're talking about religion and what Kanye West is doing, bringing the church into it. And, some people are saying he's doing it because he was losing money. He was falling off. So he went to the church. You know what I'm saying? But, it's so complicated, man. Yeah. It's so complicated. But what are you guys thinking, man?
As far as Kanye goes, I believe his spirit awakened.
So you believe it's true?
Yeah. I believe
it's not business.
Yeah.
See, it's hard.
It's very hard to figure out where the divide is.
Right.
But everybody does have what I call a spiritual alarm clock. Okay. Everybody's time is different. Some people's goes off at 8 years old, some 16, some at 27 like mine did, some at 40, 50. It all depends on a lot of factors. How you were raised and what you're trying to do. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole.
Right.
I believe that he finally came to. I believe that after you revel with the darkness so much, just like we've all have, you get to a specific point in which you're just like, okay, like I'm done. Yeah, basically. I believe that, his spirit is, and your spirit just doesn't awaken and all of a sudden you get all these things. Your spirit begins to awaken, so it actually takes about 7 to 7.5 years.
Okay.
For your spirit to awaken. If you know anything about indigo children, there's different generations. So usually around your 28th year is when you awaken. But some people, a little bit later, some people earlier. So I do believe his spirit awakened, but also, he's with a Kardashian.
That's what I'm saying too.
So I believe it. I believe it plays a small part into the business realm, and also too, the church wasn't a place in which a lot of his songs catered to, except for Jesus Walks, which was his first song. And I felt like he was always spiritual, but I feel like he just lost his way when he got to the music business. There's a lot of devils in the music business.
Sure,
there's cutthroat, there's demons everywhere, and it's very easy for somebody who just gets in to get caught up in all that.
But his mom was also alive back then.
Yes, his mom was on. Like, there was rumors about some things.
So I think even then, I think she was probably keeping him more
grounded.
Yeah,
grounded.
exactly.
Yeah,
and then it's very easy to lose your way when you get into things that you don't know everything about.
Right.
So I feel like he knew a little bit about the music business, but not everything. Just like, you grow as you get into these things, and it's easy to grow apart with a lot of things. So I just feel like he just lost his way a little bit, and now he got back.
He's finding his way back.
Yeah, he's finding his way back.
So you think everything that he's doing is genuine? You don't think Kris Jenner is behind this?
No,
pulling the strings on him.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's a family thing.
I feel like his spirit is genuine. I don't feel like the business part is genuine.
So
What do you think, bro?
My hot take, or if you can even call it that, I honestly think that with Ye, I followed his career very closely. One of the first beats, not one of the first beat I ever freestyled on was through the wire from Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed one thing. I know if you look back through his career, at the time when he was coming out, it was the climate of rap was different. It was more like G-Unit was popping at that time, and things was like, it was going in one direction. And Ye, I mean, it was in alignment with what he liked and what style resonated with him, but he was like, I'm going to go in this direction. And then building that crowd up, and people took to that because it was different, because it was new, because it was irreverent to the actual climate of the time. So then you follow along, and then backpack rap becomes the established vibe, right? That sort of thing.
Right.
So then when that became established, he was like, yo, I want to go against the grain again, the grain that I helped create.
Right.
So then Yeezus, remember that? Remember how people was feeling about that? It was like, whoa, what is that? And the reaction to that was just so completely, different. So now you see him going on that path, and then he's doing this thing, and he's just doing anything he can do to just make a difference. So now, not too many hip hop icons are would identify as Republicans. So guess what? It's time to go on that, because it's. But what I feel was happening was, and this is just from the outside looking in, it didn't even need to align 100% with who he was. I feel like it's more about, look, the established societal way of thinking is this way, and I feel like we can become slaves to that if we allow ourselves to only abide by the echo chamber, right? Okay. So he's looking at it like the way to regain that control is like, even if this is looked at as not the most popular thing, it's not the most popular thing to back Trump, so he's gonna do that. It's not the most popular thing to be in church. There's a lot of people that would rather be at the club than at the church, right? So it's like, word, I bet I'm gonna do that, and then so that's what I feel like is motivating a lot of that.
Like going against the grain.
I feel like that's what it is, but again, I don't know the man personally, and it very well could align with his purpose and his life path. Nothing's gonna take away from him being a legend, though. I would say that. Yeah.
I mean,
his beats alone give him legend status.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He never even had to rap. Literally,
That's true.
He never had to rap. If he stuck with beats, he'd still be a legend. I feel he'll still be the
Straight
same
up.
type of guy, as big as he is now, just with beats, as if he did beats and rapping. So
yeah, I believe that too. And again, because the Kardashian mix, I mean, once you throw that in there, because if that wasn't if that didn't play a role, I think we would look at the situation a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? If that didn't play a role, but if we look at and look, I'm not gonna hate on the Kardashians, because I don't want it to sound like I'm hating. It's not. I don't want to make it sound like I'm hating. They do great business, because they do great business. And look, they got babies, they got a family that they gotta feed.
Billions.
And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't really. I don't know yet. I don't know if they hit the bees yet.
Well, Kylie alone is what? $600 million? Yeah, but all of them collectively, they're $1 billion family.
Yeah,
collectively,
you gotta say that. That's true.
Yeah.
Kylie did hit it. Yeah. So that combined, you can say they're $1 billion family, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and with that said, I mean, do they have a lot to lose? Can you say that? Yes.
They have a lot.
Right? Not a lot. Because look, how can I say this? Like, you can be up, right? But I think if you're in the spotlight for so long, I mean, but think about it. They've been in reality TV for what, 10, 12 years?
Wow.
Right? What can they do to fall off?
That's the
Probably
thing.
Not much.
Not much. Like somebody would have to come in with like $1 billion slander in order to knock them off.
Nah,
look,
they're too tight.
And now they're in, and if you think about it, they're actually in with Trump.
Right.
Because of Kanye.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
And-
even
and
Kim's
then
been
Kanye,
Kim's been with Trump
the
to get
prison reform
right,
stuff.
right.
So even with that, the Kardashians are still.
They find good ways to leverage big names.
Their fame.
Yeah. They have a lot of leverage.
Right.
So that's one thing I'm gonna say about them.
Right. So can they do any wrong? You know what I mean? Can we look at it like Kanye's decision is intertwined with the Kardashians, like it's related, or do we think it's more individualized? It's just Kanye.
I think just the business part is related. I don't believe they have control over his music.
Yeah. No, I don't think. I don't think.
Yeah,
they
I
would
believe that I believe he has like control over what he's saying. But as far as who sees it and where it goes and what shows it do, I believe that like the Kardashians have a big hand in that. So.
Right. Wow. Well, you know, hey, that's Kanye West, folks. Nicole, we see you. Jonathan Rodin, we see you. Miss Morel, shout out to you. Miss Johanna Estevez, thank you so much. I'm here with Nickey Stringz and Terrell Smiley, aka L Bezzle. He goes by LB. He's the CEO of CBD Heaven, and we didn't even really talk about CBD yet tonight.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We talking about everything else. And Nickey Stringz, co-founder at Bars and Burgers. He's the CEO over there as well. That's an event planning company. We're talking about the music business. We were just talking about Kanye West for those of you tuning in right now. So if you want to throw something in the comments, we might be able to take care of you before we wrap up the show tonight. But we're actually going to go into our last round. So we're going to pay the bills real quick, and we will be right back. All right, folks, on the rise, Nelson Stryker. We are back. I'm here with Nickey Stringz and Terrell Smiley, a.k.a. L Bezzle, over at L Bezzle Music. CEO over at CBD Heaven, and Nickey Stringz, co-founder at Bars and Burgers, an event planning company. For those of you out there that you like plant-based food or you haven't heard about it yet, Sea Burger, New Brunswick, y'all gotta check it out.
Do that. Do yourself a favor.
Get an Impossible Burger. It's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
With the pretzel bun.
Yes.
With the pretzel bun.
Pretzel bun. They got options.
There's no option. That's the way.
Yo, with the pretzel. That's crazy. I haven't tried that yet. I gotta try that.
It's banging.
Yo.
Slam.
All right, so look, let's get back into it, folks. And we're in the last round. I wanted to save this for last because it's new. It's new. It's news. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate news. It's very sad news. But one of the young boys, Juice WRLD, superstar, 21 years old, just turned 21 like a week ago. Part of that small group of just explosive. I mean, you could still say they're new artists. I mean, it's only been like 2 years. Right.
Yeah. It's the second album.
Yeah, and kind of that group with like Lil Yachty, XXX Tentacion, Lil Nas X, that group, and he took, XXX Tentacion's death really hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that, I think that Legend song was for him, and for him to even talking about, I actually downloaded his newest album, and he talked about him passing away, at something about him being 21 and not making it to 21, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it. I just looked away from my phone like, is this really happening? Like,
such a loss.
Yeah, like
such a loss.
What is going on in music? I mean, it's hard to even talk about.
Yeah.
The wound is still fresh. It's like it's sad. I mean, we right now at this point in time, we don't know exactly what caused it, but it's well known that he experimented with a lot of prescription drugs and all that sort of thing, and there's a problem in the community right now. It's so wild because when the music that we listened to when we were coming up, it was like glorifying the drug dealer,
right? And
nowadays we're glorifying the drug user, and I don't know how we lost our way in that sense. I mean, like, I one of the things I do to fund my music career is teach piano and guitar at a music school, and I get to interact with a lot of young people and get to see where their heads at. The next generation, like, first and foremost, like, they better, like, y'all better be smarter than us. Y'all are just learning things so quickly,
right? And
I'm so proud to see where that's going. So I definitely want to always drop in with them and see where their headspace is, and you know, a lot of them are no strangers to that sort of thing too. So it's like we need to find out what it is, whether it's you know, problems at home, the bullying, we're not getting enough, we're not you know, choosing meditation,
support.
right? Not giving we're not choosing like things like meditation over medication. We're not, you know, or we just not listening to the kids. Like we need to listen to everyone, even if whether they have a platform or not. Let them know that they have a voice, and it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel bad and not have to turn to that. You know, addiction is real. That's one thing. Once you have that on, you never the last thing I'll say on that is, every time you feed that addiction, you're never satisfying yourself. You're only making that addiction stronger.
Right.
So just keeping that in mind every time you use and that sort of thing is overcoming that, making sure that that's a priority in life. Don't neglect yourself.
But what about, I mean, and look, the music business is a business, right?
Right.
So we have to think about that. But I think that because these young boys are in their own lane, they're making their own money. I think like the artists that we came up listening to, they're not embracing them because of the business side. And I think and I don't know if it's because it's hard, because they've been famous for so long, they've been in this business for so long. Maybe they don't have enough time to really invest in these young boys and what they're doing. Maybe that's the case.
Maybe.
But they're dying so young.
Yeah.
And for them to only be like Meek, when he was at he was doing a concert, he had said something, and he called XXX Tentacion, he called them extensions or whatever. You know, he just shouted them out. You know what I'm saying? But that was it, though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he met with, you know what I'm saying, like other kids in his camp, or you know what I'm saying, like there was no, look, you're in the music business. So even though you guys are in different lanes, it doesn't mean that you can't, as a man, say, hey, listen, you know, it's okay to talk about this, it's okay to talk about that, but like show your support. But I guess because of the business side and the money, they're not getting involved.
And I can shed some light a little bit on that. Mainly, there's one major problem with the music industry, and people are signing their lives away to these record labels for money.
Talk about it.
And your soul is worth infinity. Your soul's not worth 50 million, 60 million, 100 million. Your soul's worth infinity. Yeah. And once these younger guys, these younger naive guys see these deals, they're like, oh man, I can take care of my family and all that. But it's to at what extent?
Right. At what cost?
Are you ready for that pressure? Like you know, if you sign your life where you have to do this forever, no matter if you want to stop, like when you're 70 years old, you know, if you can't make music anymore, you're gonna be in the background with the people that signed you. So it's sad a lot, and one of the reasons why a lot of these younger artists and just young people in general are dying, or they're getting stressed out to the point in which they're committing suicide or just going to other things that'll potentially kill them, is what I call the 3 Fs, okay? Family, finance, and Facebook, okay?
Wow, I do Facebook in there.
Oh, I'm going to throw Facebook in there a little bit. I'll break it down for you very, very briefly. Family, they took all the fathers out of all the families, okay? The government succeeded in that, okay? They took a lot of my friends, sadly, they lack a father. I'm blessed enough to have one, and he's still around. And
shout out Mr. Smiley.
Yo, shout out my pops, man, for real. Like, y'all don't understand how important it is to have a father figure there. And not only that, the mothers too, they might be around, but sometimes the mothers are strung out. Or sometimes the mothers are dealing with stuff from the father. Right. So now the kid is in the middle of that. And now you're looking at these two parties as if they're not even your parents anymore, and you're seeing a constant struggle, and so you're out to fend for yourself.
Right.
That's one. Number two, finances. The cost of living went up, but the wages have stayed the same
Right.
throughout all like I came from the beginning of time. So now, back in the days when my parents were growing up, they had part-time jobs. They had cars and houses completely. Like back in this 50s, 60s, 70s, you didn't have to work that much in order to have what you have. But now it's just like the minimum wage is what, like 15 an hour now.
building to it
Yeah, and
now,
it's building up to it.
gonna
That's
be.
not enough. That's why these people are out here with 2 full-time jobs.
Yep.
They're away from
Wow.
their family. They're away from everything, and they're working their fingers to the bone, and they're still not making ends meet. So it's
Wow.
the financial stress, and we gotta make a dollar, we gotta make a dollar, we gotta make a dollar, which is leaving people and keeping people at jobs and away from their families, and also not being able to live up to your means, basically. And last but not least, it's not just Facebook, it's Instagram too, and all the social media
Well, they own
platforms.
Instagram.
Yeah, they own Instagram. It's these likes, man. These people are living for a like, a love, an impression. They want to be seen so badly. So now, instead of living in the real world, people are now living in a virtual world in which
Right,
they're trying to
right.
portray.
Curate.
Yeah, they're trying to portray what they aren't,
Yup.
or portray who they are. And it's that takes money too. You gotta run ads and all that stuff. But people are living just for likes now. Oh my, I got 1,000 likes on this one. And it's good to use analytically if you're into
Right.
data and you need
Right.
to know the analytics behind certain things. And I know if I post at this time it's this, and I post at this time it's this. That's great. But at the end of the day, where majority of people are living in virtual worlds, and it's what's taking us out of reality. And once you in the virtual world, you have to live up to specific standards, and which will stress you the hell out so much to keep on with these standards. If you fall off a little bit, people will knock you. Even if you go up, people will knock you.
Right.
So there's all these outside stressful factors in here now that wasn't like this years ago, and it's so much harder now. But it's also easier to get out now, but it's harder to maintain it, and it's hard. It's so many stressful things out here, and it's really sad that like
These kids are
people,
going like that.
yeah, 10, 11, 12 years old dealing with these things.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yup.
it's unbelievable. So, we gotta get back into a real world and put God first in everything. That's
Heart goes out to Juice WRLD's family,
Yeah, yeah.
friends, and
Oh, yeah.
all of that for sure.
And
Rest in
like
God.
you said earlier, it's just happened. Everything is still
Yeah,
the
still
wound
fresh.
is gonna be fresh for a
For a
while. And so we're gonna start seeing a lot of artists come out, and say their piece and everything else. But I just hope that the artists that we grew up listening to and those popping off now that are
Right.
older,
start speaking on it.
are gonna
Yeah,
start speaking
yeah.
on it and not just leaving them in it. You know what I
they've
mean?
been quiet. They've
Because
been real
they've been
quiet.
real
Real
quiet.
quiet.
I mean,
That's
even if
true.
you look at Lil Pump right now,
Right.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I consider him in that circle. You know what I'm saying? That boy is wildin'. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I laugh. He makes me laugh. He's funny. But I don't honestly I don't know if he's like that for real.
Right,
Or
right.
if he's like that because he's acting and he knows it's gonna get him
The clout.
the clout.
Right.
It's gonna get the views. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that entertainment.
And a lot of times it's what the label says. You got to do what the
Yeah,
label
yeah.
says.
Oh,
You're
that's
slave to your
true.
label. You're slave
If you don't
to it,
listen to the label, they pulling your money, they pulling your house, everything,
Right.
and you're getting dropped from the label.
Yeah.
So you either got to suck it up and do what they say and become a character, or be independent and get your spirit out for real,
Right.
for real.
Amen.
And
Amen.
ownership. That's the most important.
Own
thing.
yourself.
Own
For real.
Put yourself on
On
pay.
Hey.
Done know.
Hey, bro.
All right, folks.
Available everywhere.
Let's do those plugs.
done know.
Let's do those
Perfect
plugs,
time.
man. Yeah. So
All right,
how can
man.
people find you guys?
All right, man. So my name's L Bezzle. If y'all want to find me, even if y'all want to talk about anything, I help people, try to just gain a little bit more spirit. You feel me?
Sure.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram. My @name's @L Bezzle Music. That's LBEZZLE Music. That's on Instagram. And you can find me on all streaming platforms. Just L Bezzle. LBEZZLE, man. Connect with me, man. I'm going to connect with you. Let's make some beautiful music together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, very, very good. So it's for me, Nickey Stringz. You can find me on Instagram Nickey space Stringz, Stringz. And the @ is Strings Like Geppetto. For those that know, you know. If you know, you know. All my hip hop heads know exactly where I'm coming from with that. We got Bars and Burgers. That's the event coming up. That's the next one's on the 20th. Look out for that. Shout out to
December
rapper.
20?
December 20th.
December 20th.
Twice a month.
Friday.
Nice.
Every first and third Friday for now. We're going to try that out.
Nice.
So make sure you already.
Hey,
don't
let's
know.
get
It's
it.
going to be at C
Let's
Burger.
get it.
Follow the at C Burger. Dat chat, that's the thing that's moving. Big things are going.
Yes,
Rabbit
sir.
Hole Stew. Make sure you check that out. We're doing amazing things. We're getting the community together.
Beautiful.
Local now, global later. You don't know.
Exactly.
Big
Yes,
ups.
sir.
Shout out
Big things
Dan
are
one more
going.
time. You feel me? For Seaburger for the platform, and I also want to shout out to my merchandiser Ish.
Oh yeah,
Man,
Not
yo,
Tego.
Ish, my
he
man.
got the
Yeah,
drip.
yeah,
I'm
Ish,
telling you,
my
I got
man.
the hoodie on right
For real.
here.
Ish
Bro,
made that.
Yeah, bro. You
see the Nickey
got the drip. Yo,
That's
shout out
my
to Ish.
guy.
Also
man.
available. We can work it out.
Yeah, yo. If you need any
That-
clothes, man, yo,
that's
get your
my
logo, get your
guy.
artwork out. He got it, man.
Of course, shout out to Nelson Stryker, man.
Hey,
Big ups.
Nelson
Level
too.
up.
Hey.
Level up. You don't know.
Leveling
Big
up,
ups.
man.
Big ups. That's it.
All right, folks, and to my rising tide, thank you for watching. And to those of you on the podcast, thanks for listening to On the Rise.
Thank you.
Subscribe, leave us a rating or a review so you don't miss any level ups from the show. We'll see you guys next time.